By the second week of February, 80% of all New Year's resolutions had failed, according to U.S. News and World Report. When we fail, we can assume that our fault was a lack of effort or a lack of motivation. The reality is that success comes from straightforward, fruitful activities that are regularly done over time. The main takeaway from this is that we must establish a life philosophy and master it every day to gain a tiny advantage. It's simple to assume that successful individuals are simply incredibly smart or possess unique abilities that we don't when we observe them. Yet that's not the case the majority of the time. Information on how to achieve in life is more widely available than ever before, thanks to the profusion of self-help books. The creation of a life philosophy can help with that. Your way of life is your life philosophy. It affects your thoughts, emotions, and eventually, your behavior. It's also effective since it can alter the way you perceive routine, everyday jobs. Think about Thomas J. Watson, the man who founded IBM, and his life motto, "The recipe for success is fairly simple, twice your rate of failure." But a lot of us don't see failure as an option. We fail more often than we realize, which increases our chances of success. Abraham Lincoln is regarded as one of the most noteworthy American presidents in modern memory. But did you know that he was unsuccessful in public office and lost multiple elections? Failure wasn't simply a possibility for him, it was his area of expertise. We can also get a modest advantage by concentrating on life's everyday concerns. We frequently credit or criticize luck, circumstance, or fate when bad things happen to us. In actuality, everything comes down to the decisions we make, particularly the minor ones. Each decision we make has one of two outcomes, success or failure. The tiny edge is more than just a way of life that we can choose to live or not. It is constantly active and running in the background. That will work against us if we don't make the most of it. Even while we might not notice the impacts right away, time will eventually reveal them. How then can we leverage this minor advantage to our advantage? The main takeaway is that the decisions we make every day ultimately either work for or against us. Those that are headed for failure frequently have a blaming mentality, but successful people own responsibility for their circumstances. They focus more on how to react, even when treated unfairly, than on lamenting their misfortunes. We are better able to accomplish our goals when we take responsibility for how we respond to the challenges that life presents to us. Examining our attention is another approach to see if we're headed toward success or failure. Do we often have our roots in the past or focus on the future? Some people harm themselves and others by using regrets from the past as a weapon. But to succeed, we must take lessons from the past and use them to shape the future. Why not evaluate yourself objectively right now? Consider your health. Do you feel better as a result of your everyday food and exercise routine? Why not conduct a similar examination of your happiness, job, and relationships, among other areas of your life? If you're not headed in the right direction, you'll fail. Many overlook the little things in life because they are simple, seem unimportant, and the results are hidden. Just 5% of people accomplish a sizable portion of their life goals. Hence, if doing simple things consistently is all it takes to be successful, why don't the other 95% of people do the same? 5% are aware of the importance of having a tiny advantage and use it to their advantage. 95% of people do not. Doing everyday tasks is indeed relatively simple. It's equally simple not to do them, though. For instance, it's fairly simple to save a few dollars each day. Yet it's equally simple to avoid doing it. Cardio exercise for 15 minutes a day is not difficult at all. But it's also quite simple to overlook. Those who are unsuccessful frequently opt for the life route that seems to be the simplest. The main takeaway is that people overlook the little things in life because they are simple, seem trivial, and their effects are hidden. To change your life, you only need to do a few simple tasks. Yet in addition to the fact that simple tasks are frequently overlooked, there's another reason why most individuals choose not to take them. They don't seem to contribute to success, at least not right away. How much money would you have saved by the end of the week, for instance, if you decided to forego buying a coffee each day in favor of saving $2? Less than $14. Not quite amazing, is it? But these are the elements that go into making millionaires. The issue is that because the findings are so distant from now, they are not visible. Consider your dietary patterns. We all understand how to eat well. Nonetheless, a lot of us decide to eat poorly. Why? It takes a while to notice the detrimental effect. Imagine consuming a cheeseburger and then experiencing a nearly fatal heart attack. Would you eat a cheeseburger once more? Extremely unlikely. Yet, it is what might occur after 20 to 30 years of eating poorly. Just like failure, success happens gradually. Those who are unsuccessful may not be aware of it, but they adhere to the "what I do now doesn't matter" ideology. Yet it is significant. Those who are successful are aware of this and use it to protect their relationships, future, health, and happiness. You'll gain from the little advantage with constant practice and learning. Your life can be considerably improved by reading 10 pages of a motivational and instructional book each day. You could read a 300-page book every month if you did this. A course or seminar may be taken every few months. Or you could listen to a 15-minute audio recording that will change your life every day. Studying is beneficial, but what you do with the knowledge you gain will have a lasting effect on your personal development. You must put what you've learned into practice after you've learned it. Your comprehension of the information you learn will deepen as a result. Confucius, a Chinese philosopher, once remarked that exercise without knowledge is harmful and that knowledge without practice is pointless. Others can teach you things as well. You can observe and imitate someone who has achieved goals that are comparable to yours once you've identified them. Although the conscious brain is extraordinarily strong, it is also easily distracted and can only concentrate on one subject at a time. The subconscious brain, on the other hand, controls almost all of our brain functions. In reality, our brains operate automatically in 99.99% of everything we accomplish. Have you ever driven or walked a known route with your thoughts wholly elsewhere, for instance? Sure, everybody has. You must teach your subconscious mind if you want to continue making wise decisions. How? You choose a habit you wish to adopt using your conscious mind. Then you continuously practice it until it becomes automatic in your subconscious. The force that can propel us toward a goal is momentum. Starting a new activity requires drive and initiative. But once we start moving, momentum takes control and continues to advance us. Once we're moving forward, it's simpler to implement the constructive changes required to accomplish our objectives. Consider maneuvering an automobile to have a better understanding of how momentum operates. We have other allies in our struggle to conquer the little edge, the momentum. The main takeaway is this: the four modest edge allies are momentum, completion, contemplation, and celebration. While momentum does help us advance, if we don't complete our tasks, that progress may be stymied. A backlog of undone chores, such as unpaid bills, unfinished projects, and unfulfilled commitments, can rob us of the satisfaction that comes from completing a task. We can be dragged back into the past and off the right track by unfinished work. Why not use the power of the slight edge to assist you to conquer this difficulty if it is one you are facing? If you have trouble finishing tasks, our third ally, reflection, can show you where you need to make improvements. Because of how hectic life is, we frequently spend more time performing tasks than reflecting on our performance. We can decide to keep a daily journal, communicate frequently with a buddy who shares our perspective, or engage with a coach to obtain the maximum benefit from contemplation. Whatever you decide to do, be sure to ask yourself sharp questions like, what are the minor but crucial things that are necessary for me to achieve my goals? Do I commit them? Am I heading towards success or failure? Reflection is wonderful since it does more than just point up areas that need work. It also emphasizes our strengths. Afterward comes joy as we welcome our fourth ally. Celebrating is crucial because it inspires us to perform better when we feel good about ourselves. Celebrate your accomplishments, regardless of how tiny they may seem. Indeed, nothing breeds success like success itself. Develop productive, upbeat habits that will enable you to handle any situation and realize your dreams. Despite our greatest efforts, it's difficult for everyone to break undesirable behaviors. Here's a hint, then. Making a good habit the replacement for a bad one is the simplest way to break a bad habit. Showing up, being consistent, having a good outlook, committing to the long haul, developing a burning passion supported by faith, being willing to pay the price, and engaging in slight-edge integrity are 7 critical behaviors that can keep us on the path to success. No matter how much knowledge, experience, wisdom, or resources we possess, they are useless until we act. According to research, optimistic people succeed more. We must also be dedicated to the long term. We need patience, just like the farmer who understands that he must wait a complete season to reap his fruit, rather than expecting instant success. Desire is yet another excellent habit to develop. Yet, we don't want the kind that ends as soon as we acquire what we desire, as nothing is free. We must be prepared to pay for what we want to succeed. Little steps like getting up earlier or giving up a favorite sort of junk food could be enough. No matter how much we pay for success, the cost of failure is much higher. Are you keeping your obligations while no one is looking? It takes 3 actions to realize our dreams: writing them down, keeping them in sight daily, and creating a strategy. Everybody has dreams. Regrettably, few of our dreams materialize because we lack the skills to pursue them. But there is an effective, tried and true method, and it's quite simple. Realizing our dreams is the first step in the formula. If becoming financially free is your goal, try to estimate how much money you'd need to save to get there. Alternatively, describe the kinds of things you would need to do to be healthy, along with how they would feel. We will get closer to achieving our goals if we make them clear and vivid. A goal is a desire with a deadline, according to American novelist Napoleon Hill. Thus, remember to include dates as you write down your dreams. This is significant since, on average, we complete 80% of our tasks in the final 20% of our available time. Without a deadline, our aspirations might never materialize. You may read your dream every day if you write it down. It is effective to tell and remind oneself of your objective. This thus makes it possible to create a plan. A plan doesn't have to be a detailed roadmap outlining each step from beginning to end. Instead, it's just the first few steps that get us going. We only need to begin. Much like a little child takes her first step, momentum will carry us onward.